Hello, dear YouTube viewers. I hope you're doing well. Okay, let's start our video. The weekend gathering is warm and alive, filled with the glow of fairy lights, the smell of grilled food drifting through the air, and soft music blending with easy laughter. People sit in small groups, chatting about their week, enjoying the pleasant weather and the familiar comfort of being together. Into this cheerful setting, the narrator and her husband arrive side by side, though emotionally they feel miles apart. Their recent days have been marked by small but painful irritations, compliments forgotten, chores ignored, and the quiet emotional distance that grows when unspoken frustrations pile up. She is exhausted from a long week, feeling unnoticed and taken for granted, carrying the weight of minor arguments and stretches of silence that sting more than words. While everyone else effortlessly slips into conversation, she feels strangely invisible beside him. Earlier that day, he had teased her in a way that hit a nerve, or maybe he brushed off something she said. Either way, the feeling of being dismissed lingers. She tries to fit herself into the happy environment, but inside she feels small, unseen, and emotionally alone. Standing among friends and relatives, the moment catches her at a low point. Wanting attention, validation, or simply an emotional release, she laughs and blurts out, "I think I need a new husband." Some people giggle awkwardly, unsure whether to take it seriously. A few stare in mild confusion, while others brush it off as typical married couple humor. But her husband's reaction is instant and unmistakable. His shoulders tighten, his smile disappears, and he slowly turns toward her with an expression that's cold, unreadable, and nothing like the cheerful man he was moments ago. In that split second, she feels a sharp ripple of regret move through her. Something in his eyes tells her she's crossed a line she didn't even realize was there. The atmosphere hasn't changed yet for anyone else, but she can already feel the shift coming, heavy and unavoidable. A heavy silence settles in the space between them, stretching longer than it should. It feels intentional, a dramatic pause that makes the air thicken and the moment sharpen. When he finally speaks, his voice is nothing like the warm or teasing tone she knows. It is low, sharp, and edged with something cold. His words land like small knives. Maybe he says, "Maybe try getting one who actually enjoys being insulted." Or perhaps, "Go ahead. Someone else might finally appreciate me." Or the one that stings the most, "You talk about replacing me, but you can't even handle yourself." Whatever line he chooses, it slices through the room with precision. The laughter that was still lingering dies instantly. People glance at each other with raised brows and tight lips. Someone coughs in a nervous attempt to fill the silence. A cousin or friend tries to steer the conversation elsewhere, but the atmosphere is too thick, too changed. The damage is already done. The narrator feels the embarrassment hit her like a physical blow. Her cheeks burn with heat, a lump forms in her throat, and her stomach tightens painfully. She wishes for a second she could disappear into the floor, undo the words she had thrown so casually just moments earlier. Meanwhile, her husband behaves as though nothing significant has occurred. He turns away, resumes eating or chatting with someone else, and purposely avoids looking at her. His calmness feels unsettling, almost worse than anger, as if he has already detached himself emotionally. It's a calm that makes her wonder whether he's quietly hurting or quietly giving up. She forces a strained smile whenever someone looks her way, trying to pretend she's unaffected. But she feels more alone standing among familiar faces than she ever has. She notices a couple of guests whispering, another offering her a sympathetic glance she doesn't know how to accept. All the while, her husband remains distant, completely absorbed in conversations that pointedly do not include her. The gathering continues, but for her, the night is already ruined. Every word she hears is muted by the echo of his comeback, and every minute that passes confirms that something in their relationship has just shifted in a way she can no longer ignore. Their history stretches back to a much softer time, one filled with laughter and lightness. She remembers how they first met, maybe at a mutual friend's outing, at work, or during a casual encounter that felt like fate nudging them together. In those early days, everything between them felt effortless. Their dates were full of playful teasing, shared jokes, and long conversations that lasted late into the night. Back then, he adored her humor. He used to say her jokes were the best thing about his day, that her laughter could straighten out even the worst moments. She felt seen, appreciated, and genuinely cherished. But life, with all its responsibilities, slowly shifted things. Work stress grew. Bills piled up. Maybe children came along, adding joy, but also exhaustion. The pressures of adulthood crept in quietly, little by little. Their communication didn't break all at once. It weakened like a rope fraying over time. Compliments became rare. Their emotional connection thinned. Moments of affection were replaced by hurried routines, tired sighs, and an ever-present sense of being overwhelmed. Where they once used soft teasing, they now use sarcasm. Harmless jokes turned sharper. Words carried more weight than either of them intended. The emotional warmth they once shared began cooling into something brittle. Unresolved issues quietly multiplied. She often felt he didn't truly listen to her or emotionally support her when she needed him most. Meanwhile, he felt wounded by moments when she joked about him in front of others, interpreting her humor as criticism or mockery. Both were hurting, but neither knew how to say it without risking a fight. And so they held everything inside. Arguments ended with silence rather than solutions. Feelings were pushed down, dismissed, or ignored until they hardened into resentment. Their personalities made it worse. She had always used humor as a shield, a way to soften her emotions, to avoid appearing too vulnerable. When she was hurt, she joked. When she was overwhelmed, she laughed it off. It worked for a long time, but not anymore. He, on the other hand, hated confrontation. Instead of speaking up when something bothered him, he swallowed it, storing the frustration until it eventually spilled out in sharp, unexpected ways. Together, these habits created a quiet storm. The small hurts accumulated, sitting beneath the surface like cracks in glass. By the time they reached that gathering, that harmless moment among friends, their relationship was already teetering, fragile from the pressure. So when she made that joke, the one she thought was harmless, it wasn't just a joke anymore. It was the final tap on an already fractured line. And his brutal comeback wasn't simply about that moment. It was the release of everything he had been holding in for far too long. Their goodbye to the hosts is stiff and painfully polite, the kind of farewell that feels rehearsed rather than genuine. She forces a smile that doesn't touch her eyes, and he offers a short nod instead of the usual warm thanks. The walk to the car is slow and quiet, the kind of silence that makes every footstep sound louder than it should. She feels his distance like a physical barrier, an invisible wall rising between them with every step. Once inside the car, the silence becomes even heavier, a thick, suffocating presence that fills the small space. The engine hum feels too loud, the click of the seatbelt too sharp, even the sound of distant traffic strangely intrusive. She sits with her hands folded in her lap, staring out the window, replaying the moment again and again. Regret tangles with anger and confusion. She wonders if she truly deserves his response, or if he seized the moment to release something he'd been holding for far too long. The questions spiral in her mind. Was he waiting to say something like that? Did my joke hurt him that deeply? Why didn't he talk to me instead of humiliating me back? He sits rigidly behind the wheel, his jaw tightly clenched, his hands gripping the steering wheel so firmly she can see the tension in his knuckles. His gaze remains fixed on the road, unwavering, distant, as though looking at her might unleash emotions he doesn't trust himself to show. Finally, unable to bear the silence any longer, she speaks. "Are you really that upset?" Her voice is small, unsure, almost trembling. His reply comes quickly, clipped and cold. "Forget it. Or worse, I don't want to talk about it." The words hit harder than she expects. They aren't loud, but they carry a kind of finality that chills her. It feels like a door shutting in her face. The emotional wedge between them slides deeper, settling into a place neither knows how to reach. She feels punished, dismissed, shut out, like her mistake has sentenced her to a silent treatment she didn't see coming. He, on the other hand, is drowning in humiliation and hurt, too overwhelmed to express it without lashing out more. When they finally arrive home, they don't walk inside together. They move like strangers, sharing the same space for convenience rather than connection. He goes one way, maybe to the bedroom or the living room, and she goes another, pretending to tidy up, pretending she has something to do. Anything to avoid the crushing stillness. The emotional distance settles over the house like a cold shadow. The warmth that once lived there feels dim, replaced by the echo of words neither can take back. The days after the gathering feel strangely heavy, as if the air at home has thickened with unspoken tension. Their daily routine changes subtly but noticeably. Conversations shrink to monosyllables, laughter disappears, and the warmth they once shared vanishes. Even simple interactions, passing each other in the hallway, sharing a meal, become mechanical, stripped of the affection that once made their home feel alive. From her perspective, guilt mixes with a quiet resentment. She wonders if he meant to hurt her with his comeback, whether it was a calculated strike or an honest expression of his feelings. She replays the moment endlessly, trying to understand his intentions and questioning her own behavior. At the same time, she can't ignore the sting of his silence and distance, which feels like punishment she doesn't fully deserve. He carries his own storm. He feels betrayed, humiliated by her joke made in front of everyone, and convinced she doesn't truly appreciate him as a partner. Every glance she gives, every word she utters, seems to remind him of the moment she publicly undermined him, even if unintentionally. Tension builds in the smallest routines. They eat separately, sleep with their backs turned to each other, and avoid eye contact in hallways or shared rooms. The house feels like a minefield, with each interaction charged and careful. Outside influences only add to the pressure. Friends call or drop texts asking, "You guys okay?" Or, "That was awkward, is everything all right?" Their questions, though well-meaning, amplify her embarrassment. She feels exposed, judged, and increasingly isolated in her own home. Internally, she wrestles with a storm of emotions. Loneliness gnaws at her, not just from his distance, but from the emotional vacuum that has grown between them. She begins questioning herself, her marriage, her communication, her coping mechanisms, her reliance on humor to deflect deeper feelings. She starts to recognize that her seemingly harmless joke revealed far more than she intended. It peeled back layers of unresolved issues that had been simmering beneath the surface. Meanwhile, he buries himself in work, in television, in any distraction that keeps him from facing the emotional weight. He comes home late, stays in separate rooms, and uses silence as armor, creating a wall between them that neither knows how to dismantle. Their shared home feels divided, a quiet battlefield where every day is a reminder of the unresolved tension that now defines their lives. The confrontation begins unexpectedly, sparked by something small, a disagreement over chores, a sarcastic remark, or a fleeting moment that finally cracks the fragile silence between them. Tension ignites immediately. Voices rise, defensive and sharp. Misunderstandings surface, each word carrying more weight than intended. She takes a deep breath and apologizes for the joke, her voice trembling slightly. But she doesn't stop there. She digs deeper, revealing the emotions she's been hiding. She explains how ignored and unsupported she's felt, how disconnected their relationship has grown, and how she often masks her pain with humor to avoid confrontation. For the first time in days, he responds with raw honesty. He speaks about the humiliation he felt in front of their friends and family, about feeling mocked instead of loved. He admits the long-standing sense of being underappreciated, of giving without feeling seen or valued. Tears come, voices shake, and long pauses stretch between them. In this moment, both recognize just how long they've avoided real communication, how much pain has accumulated in silence. The breakthrough arrives quietly. He admits he never intended to destroy her with his comeback. It was a reaction born from hurt and bottled-up frustration. She, in turn, admits her joke wasn't meant lightly. It was an expression of her own hidden hurt, not a casual jab. Together, they see that they've been fighting symptoms rather than the root issues of their marriage. For the first time in a long while, they begin to talk about what they truly need from each other: mutual respect, genuine appreciation, clearer communication, and a sense of emotional safety where both can be vulnerable without fear of judgment or humiliation. In this shared vulnerability, a tentative bridge forms across the emotional chasm that has kept them apart. They begin to take small, deliberate steps to reconnect. Meals become opportunities for honest conversations, where words are spoken with care rather than obligation. Apologies are offered freely, carrying sincerity instead of performance. Slowly, they start to understand each other's emotional triggers, recognizing the patterns that once led to misunderstandings and hurt. Together, they agree to avoid public jokes that cut too deep, choosing instead to preserve respect even in humor. He becomes more expressive and attentive, sharing feelings he had previously buried. She, in turn, becomes mindful of her humor, learning to balance levity with openness, allowing herself to reveal genuine emotions without masking them in jest. They establish new boundaries: no humiliation, even when joking, and private discussions for conflicts instead of letting grievances fester in silence. Weekly check-ins are scheduled to maintain a channel for honest dialogue and emotional connection. Rebuilding trust is a gradual, intentional process. They plan small date nights, spending undistracted time together, and make it a point to acknowledge and appreciate each other's efforts with little compliments and gestures of affection. These acts, though simple, begin to restore warmth and intimacy that had been lost. Reflecting on the journey, she realizes the joke she made wasn't harmless. It exposed layers of unspoken pain they had both been carrying. His comeback, though painful, forced a confrontation that was long overdue. By finally facing the truth behind the humor, their relationship emerges stronger and more resilient. In the quiet moments afterward, she thinks, "I thought it was just a joke, until his silence showed me everything I'd been ignoring." Or perhaps, his comeback hurt, but it repaired something we'd been breaking for years. She understands now that sometimes a single moment cracks a marriage open, not to destroy it, but to allow the truth to breathe and the love beneath to grow. Thanks for watching. For more videos, please subscribe our channel. Awesome Visual Story.